Hey guys, so listen, you're gonna need to watch last week's video on my PGC12 channel because it had a song that ended up blocking the video worldwide, and there's two ways you could get to it. One by waiting at the end for the end card, or by clicking on the link in the description. And it had a ad for a SoundCloud I'm doing, and here it was.
Filmora presents Gary Coleman's The Day After Halloween comedy show on the Borrowed Time Radio Network. Thursday, November 1st at 8 p.m. on your Borrowed Time affiliate on NBC, PBS, Nickelodeon, and online at keysforkids.org. As always, tune in at 4 p.m. for the Borrowed Time pre-show with the Borrowed Time Kids, who will play music you requested on keysforkids.org. Remember, that's Filmora presents Gary Coleman's The Day After Halloween comedy show, November 1st at 8 p.m. on the Borrowed Time Radio Network.
What if you drove an SUV that paid attention, even when you didn't? Like the Hyundai Kona, the only car in its class that monitors steering and lane position in order to alert tired or distracted drivers. Driver attention warning from Hyundai. The longer you look, the more there is to like.
Lease the Kona for only $169 a month, or buy with $2,000 in total savings, and get $750 disaster relief cash for those affected by the hurricanes.
the art of essence. LG Signature.
I'm Tim Kaine, and I approve this message.
Overdoses in Prince William County were rising, and as a mom, I was concerned. Instead of doing his job, Corey Stewart skipped a vote on opioids to campaign in Alabama for accused child predator Roy Moore, the guy who said America was great during slavery, and who said repealing women's voting rights would, quote, eliminate many problems. That's who Corey Stewart helped instead of voting on opioid prevention. Corey Stewart is dangerous.
The CT6 reviews are in. Current non-GM owners and lessees get this low-mileage lease on this 2018 Cadillac CT6 from around $479 per month.
Listen to this smash.
Thing.
Here, rainbow, come on. I hope you hear us. There's a beautiful rainbow in the sky. Everyone come back. Everyone come back. Come, everyone come to Sophie's house so the rainbow won't fade away. And everyone sing this song. Please, please, rainbow, don't fade away.
No, we mean this one. WPGC TV 12 mornings in Washington, D.C., broadcasting live from our D.C. Lottery Studios in the Navy Yard neighborhood, D.C.'s home to Operation Prime Time, and favorites from the WebCon archives.
WPGC PGC 95.5. Let's go.
This is WPGC FM
HD1
Morningside, Washington, D.C. A radio.com station. Download the all-new radio.com app and listen to WPGC 95.5 anytime, anywhere. Real people do good things every day in our community. They're in our schools, hospitals, and churches. Each month, WPGC wants to recognize and reward someone with our Real Good People Award. To nominate someone deserving, visit WPGC.com. Brought to you by Capital Petroleum. So what will you do with $1,000? Head to the shore?
Oh my God! Yes! I love you guys! I love you!
Buy a little something for yourself? Make it rain in your living room? $1,000, 12 times a day.
Want that money?
The Joe Claire Cash Code on WPGC 95.5. Listen every hour beginning at 7:05 a.m. for the Cash Code. Then text it to 72881. You could win $1,000 in this national contest. Message and data rates apply. Where people get cash. The Joe Claire Cash Code on WPGC 95.5. For rules and alternate ways to enter, visit WPGC.com.
And we're back. You're listening to Community Focus right here on WPGC 95.5. I'm your host, News Affairs Director, Guy Lambert. All right, DC, I have a question for you. Are you registered to vote? I should see more hands than that. I should still see more hands than that. Well, if you have not registered, I got good news for you. There's still time to do so. Yes, the general election right here in D.C. is quickly approaching. Early voting begins next Monday, October the 22nd, and runs until November the 2nd. And I'm pretty sure you know Election Day is November the 6th. Here to tell us everything we need to know, you need to know, and I need to know is none other than Rachel Cole. She's the Public Information Officer for the District of Columbia Board of Elections. Good morning, Rachel. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Guy. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Can I first of all give you a high five and say thank you so much for coming on the program? You reached out to me via email and said, Guy, I got to make sure your listeners know what it is to vote early and all about early voting. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, let's jump right into it. Of course, we are getting set for early voting, and we are getting set for the actual general election. Out of curiosity, let's just go in reverse and think about the primaries that happened back in June. Tell me a little bit about that.
Primaries went really, really smoothly. We had a pretty good turnout during early voting. We continue to have folks come out and vote on the very rainy, very long, very hot June 19th election day at the primaries. And we had results in before 10 p.m., so it was a good day for us.
Wow.
So we hope that the general election goes just as well.
Yeah, it always amazes me how weather plays a role with regard to how many folks actually come out and decide to cast a vote.
Absolutely.
And I guess that's why it's so important we touch on early voting, because folks, maybe they don't want to stand in line all day, deal with the hustle and bustle of actually having to get to the polls. You all have really made that very easy. We were talking off air prior to signing on, and you said, well, Guy, there's been a lot of confusion about actually registering to vote. Help clear that up for me.
Sure. So there was a lot of attention on our registration, quote unquote, deadline of October 16th, but we really want folks to know they can still register. That just applied to registrations online, by mail, or using our mobile app. Folks can still come down to our offices at 1015 Half Street Southeast. We're in Suite 750. They can show up and register in person at our offices. We would encourage people to come no later than October 19th, because we do start early voting on October 22nd. But the good news there is anybody can register at any early voting center throughout the city. You can vote at any early voting center throughout the city, regardless of your address or what ward you live in. So there is same-day registration during early voting and same-day registration on Election Day, November 6th.
That is just amazing to me. I was so confused because, here I am sitting thinking, gosh, I missed the whole time to register to vote, and that's really not the case. I simply need to come and just knock on your door and make it all happen.
Exactly.
Good stuff for you guys. Of course, we're talking about Election Day as well. Now, there are going to be a lot of folks that actually show up to the polls, and they're going to say, well, hey, did I forget to bring what I need to bring? So why don't you help us, tell us, rather, what we need to have with us in order to vote?
Absolutely. So if you're registered and ready and you haven't moved since the last election that you voted in, all you need to do is show up with your name, be able to confirm your date of birth and your address once the poll worker checking you in asks. But otherwise, you don't need a single piece of paper with you. If you are registering same day, if you've recently moved and you've shown up to vote at your new polling location for your new address, we'll ask that you bring a proof of address. That doesn't have to be an ID. There is no ID requirement in DC. You can bring your cable bill, your Verizon bill, your bank statement, your paycheck, your lease.
Wow.
I would just say any bills that are items that you're using to prove your address need to be dated within the last 90 days.
Can I just say you all have made it pretty much impossible for folks not to vote? I mean, there is no reason. You should have no excuse not to show up at the upcoming general election. I got to ask you, so I hear a lot of commercials on this radio station. I see a lot of commercials on TV, and everybody's saying, hey, vote for me, vote for me. So I'm confused. What offices are on the November ballot in D.C.?
Sure. So the most significant, I would say, local city office, obviously the representative for the House is on the ballot, but additionally, the mayoral race is probably the highest office on the ballot. We also have wards 1, 3, 5, and 6 are electing their district or their ward member seat for the council. We also have the council member at large seat, the chairman of the council, and members of the State Board of Education, as well as advisory neighborhood commissioners.
Yeah.
So it's a power-packed ballot.
It really is. And if you're at home and you're listening right now, obviously you should familiarize yourself with each and every one of the candidates to make sure you cast the correct vote, the person that you want to vote for. When do the polls actually open and close on Election Day? That's a big question, because a lot of folks say, hey, I got to get to work, or hey, I got to make sure. I think a lot of folks are off work actually that day, but they have errands to run.
Yeah, so polls open on Election Day at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. And as long as you're in line at the polling place by 8, you will be able to cast your ballot. So even if you're not actually voting until 8:45, your vote will still count and you'll still get to vote live. But that's all the more reason why we really are encouraging folks to come out and vote early. Early voting beginning again on October 22nd, as you mentioned, running through November 2nd. Those locations are open at 8:30 in the morning every day and close at 7 p.m. So there's a little window before work and a window after work for people to come in and cast their ballots too.
Wow.
So, and we're open that whole weekend, October 27th and 28th as well. So.
No, all fair, you made mention about something where we could start voting on Monday, and then through the 25th, that will actually happen at Judiciary Square, and then it changes after that. Is that correct?
Correct. So we have in total 14 early voting centers, 2 per ward, except for wards 1 and 2. Where they only have 1 early voting center. So 1 Judiciary Square will be the only location you can vote from October 22nd to October 25th. Then on the 26th through November 2nd, all 14 locations will be open. And you can, for example, live in Ward 2 and cast your vote here in Ward 6 since you work here. Early voting centers do not require you to be voting in the ward that you live in.
Well, that is so good to know.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, we live in a day and age where there's a lot of conspiracy theories, or, well, quite honestly, there has been proof that folks have actually done some things where they shouldn't have with regard to when we cast a vote. With that being said, are there any general cybersecurity preventative measures that are actually taking place right now?
Our agency is working with federal agencies and city level agencies to be conducting proactive scanning. And we have an incredibly large, robust response team ready to respond to any potential threats that are detected. I certainly cannot tell you or expand on any of the technical possibilities out there, but we have an incredibly capable team that is super focused on making sure that your vote is safe, protected, confidential, and only counted one time so that everything goes as smoothly as possible.
All right. I'm sold. Folks that are listening to this program right now, maybe they want to lend a helping hand and they want to volunteer. How would one go about to do so?
We are still hiring poll workers and training poll workers. And if you're interested in getting out there in your community and encouraging your friends and neighbors to get out and vote and helping them cast that complicated ballot that I was trying to explain earlier, it is a wonderful opportunity to be a part of your community and serve your neighborhood. So we would definitely encourage people to visit us online at www.dcboe.org. There's a tab called Election Workers, and you can get every piece of information that you need about that right there.
All right. Good stuff. Once again, we've been chit-chatting with none other than Rachel Cole. She is the Public Information Officer for the District of Columbia Board of Elections. DC, make sure you get out and cast your vote. Rachel, thank you so much for stopping by this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Stick around, folks. More Community Focus coming up next, right here on WPGC 95.5.
Download the all-new radio.com app and listen to WPGC 95.5 anytime, anywhere.
And we're back. You're listening to Community Focus right here on WPGC 95.5. I'm your host, News Affairs Director Guy Lambert. All right, let's just jump right to it. If you're anything like me and we're talking about yoga, what comes to mind? I'll say, namaste. What do you say? Well, I want to let you know that yoga is all about improving balance, flexibility, strength, pain levels among seniors, and so much more. It's even cooler when you mix it, or shall I say remix it, with the community. That's exactly what this young lady is here to tell us all about. Oh, okay, full disclosure. By the way, I need to mention, it's my sister. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ebony Lambert to the program. Hey, Ebony.
Hey, how are you?
This is really kind of weird because I feel like, we know
each other.
Hey, how? Yeah, we know each other. You're my sister. But no, I'm just so proud of you. This is just really cool. You have actually teamed up with a number of nonprofit organizations, and you're giving back in a major way. The first one is dubbed Autism Awareness Event. It's set to take place October the 27th in Woodbridge, my hometown. And you're really talking about the benefits of yoga. By the way, I should say, or what are you, a master yoga professional now?
I do feel that way. So yes, we're having our second annual autism event. And it's going to be on the 27th. And I'm going to be there just talking about all the benefits of yoga as far as breathing exercises, the way it provides calmness and balance, and definitely is great for the autism.
Yeah. But your official title, though, you have studied this for quite some time.
Oh, yes.
So, because folks are saying, okay, well, what does she know about yoga?
So I am one with Ebony, and you will see me all over the Woodbridge DMV area. And yoga is about balance. It's about calmness, and it's about bringing center to your life.
Yeah, and that has happened a lot. You know, it's really interesting. Obviously being your brother, I follow you on social media. Can I just say, how in the hell do you do half those poses you do? I can't tell you how many people reach out to, God, do you see your sister? She has her foot around her ankle, around the back of her neck, and then around her leg again.
So I get that all the time. And again, yoga is about your body. So you might not be able to put your foot behind your head like I can, but there's different levels that you can take your yoga practice to.
Yeah, this is just really cool. Of course, as you stated, you're teaming up with the second annual Autism Awareness Event. Describe to me what I'm going to be surrounded by when I get there. For example, I know you're going to be doing yoga, but what will you be offering during that day?
So I will be offering a lot of educational benefits as far as yoga. You know, people hear the word yoga and they think that you have to be the most flexible, and you do not. We're going to talk about breathing exercises. We're going to talk about the simple fact of how healthy just touching your toes can be when you're in a standing position.
Yeah, that's one of two events you're actually taking part in. The other one happens to be Real Women Moving Forward. What's that all about?
So this is a nonprofit organization, and they work with young girls starting in middle school. and teaching them life skills, leadership skills, as well as wellness. So I meet with the girls every Friday, and we have our own private yoga class. And it's really, really good.
So a lot of moms listening right now saying, well, hey, I'd love to get my daughter signed up for this. Is it too late to do so?
No, it's not. It's an ongoing organization. And again, we meet every Friday. And we talk about yoga. We talk about things that they're going through in school. So it's not just a class based on just stretching. We get into life situations, and the girls have a place where they can come and release.
Yeah. It's just so funny. You know, when you think of yoga back in the day, I'm just going to be real. It wasn't cool. Nowadays, you're not cool unless you do yoga. That just amazes me how all that has really changed. And it's got to really make you feel good as well.
It does. It makes me feel great. And I always say my yoga classes are different. I enjoy having fun. You might come to class and maybe we're playing reggae music that day, or maybe we're playing a little bit more soul and upbeat type of music, but it's definitely a place to come and have fun and also gain the health benefits.
Yeah, I'm just a little concerned. You know, I love my steak. I love my hamburgers, so I'm not going to turn vegan if I happen to come to a yoga event.
Not every yoga in person is vegan.
I want to chop on my medium rare steak.
You can still eat your steak standing on one foot.
Now, you've had the opportunity recently to open not one, but 2 studios where you offer private lessons as well. This is just really cool because, once again, I follow you on social media and I see the difference you're making in so many folks' lives.
That is correct. So, opened a studio in Manassas, which is called the Zen Lounge, and that's more of a wellness center. So you can come there for yoga, you can come there for Zumba, you can come there for what we call yoni steaming. So just tons of wellness events.
Okay, I'm a dude, and I got to be cool. So what is yoni steaming?
We might not want to get into that with the men, but yoni steaming is for women. So ladies, come and get your yoni steam.
Oh, I know what that is. Okay. Well, if, get it right, get it tight. Once again, all of which being provided by you. Folks want to find out more information about you and the services you offer and or the upcoming 2nd annual autism awareness event or the Real Women Moving Forward. How would one go about to do so?
So all of the information is on my website, and that's onewithebony.space. And I also have a small studio that I opened in the Woodbridge area. That's more for private sessions and smaller classes.
All right. And so once again, folks can reach you how?
onewithebony.space. And on Instagram, it is One with Ebony, and that's spelled out ONE.
Yeah, that's the one I would highly recommend that you follow. I'm telling you, those poses and everything else you got going on, very impressive. I guess I need to sign up as well, especially being your brother.
Yes, you do.
All right. Ebony, thank you so much for stopping by this morning. One more time, folks want to find out more information about you?
On Instagram, it is One with Ebony, and that's spelled out ONE.
All right. That's my sister, y'all. Ebony Lambert, right here on Community Focus. All right, folks, that will just about wrap up another edition of Community Focus. Want to say thanks to all of my guests this morning. Of course, thanks to you as well for listening. God willing, we'll do it again soon. Until then, make it a great day. I'm Guy Lambert. This is WPGC 95.5.
So what will you do with $1,000? Head to the shore?
Oh my God, yes! I love you guys! I love you!
Buy a little something for yourself? Make it rain in your living room? $1,000, 12 times a day.
Love that money.
The Joe Claire Cash Code on WPGC 95.5. Listen every hour beginning at 7:05 a.m. for the Cash Code. Then text it to 72881. You could win $1,000 in this national contest. Message and data rates apply. Where people get cash. The Joe Claire Cash Code on WPGC 95.5. For rules and alternate ways to enter, visit WPGC.com.
Hey, folks, welcome back to another edition of Community Focus right here on WPGC 95.5. I'm your host, News Affairs Director, Guy Lambert. Hey, we got a power-packed show lined up for you today. Gonna get to that in just one second. Before we do so, need to remind you that the comments and opinions expressed during the course of this program are not necessarily the views of WPGC Radio nor Intercom Broadcasting. All right, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, mark your calendars. I'm talking about right now. What are you marking on your calendar? Well, you're marking the upcoming Walk in 5K to End HIV. You see, we're joined today by Jewel Addy. She's the External Affairs Manager, and Desiree Dickerson. She's the Clinical Research Manager at Whitman Walker Health. You see, Whitman Walker is celebrating its 40th anniversary as a nonprofit community health center right here in the district. They answered the call of the AIDS epidemic in D.C. and have since grown to provide wraparound medical and dental care, youth services, mental health and addiction services, legal help, clinical research, investigations, and more. That's because they're giving back in a major way. So without further ado, I welcome Jewel and Desiree to the program. Good morning, ladies. Welcome to Community Focus.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
Well, y'all are choir this morning. We got church going on. I like this.
We love talking in unison.
This is just really cool. You know, I have questions in front of me, but I just got to tell you, I remember, what was it, 15, 20 years ago. I don't want to date myself, when we were really talking about AIDS more than we talk about now, HIV and AIDS. And I remember at that time, we would have to say, if you're HIV positive, it's not a death sentence. Fast forward to today, and I'm glad that I could still say that, and I'm glad a lot of folks now understand that, mainly because of organizations like yourself, and I'm referring to none other than Whitman Walker Health. How does that make you feel, knowing that you all are making a difference within the community?
That makes me feel really, really proud to be part of the Whitman Walker family. I've seen so many lives changed. I have seen some heartaches and some people pass away from complications, but the majority of people, like, they've come in really sick, and after getting the right care or becoming one of our research subjects or patients, they've really excelled, and we brought them to really, really good health.
Yeah, not only that, but correct me if I'm wrong, but for me, it seems easier to have that conversation now, not only with, let's say, your friends and family, but just overall in general, to talk about the importance of knowing your HIV status and really making sure we get that message out. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When people come in there, this is not even people who already know their status. You could come in the door and get testing and ask for testing on any day, and to just be stopped in the lobby, or even if someone knows that you work at Whitman Walker and they see you on the streets, just to be stopped and for someone to ask you that question, it really does feel good to let people know that this is not a disease that'll kill you right away with the proper, like, if you have the proper treatment, you can live a long, healthy life just as well as anyone who's HIV negative.
Yeah, Joel, you're sitting over there shaking your head like, girl, you tell it. I know you telling it. But I want you to elaborate, if you will. I mean, we're talking about HIV and AIDS, and obviously we're going to get into the walk that you all are having in just a minute. But I want folks to understand how important it is that we stress this is still an issue within our community.
Yeah, so while we've made a lot of progress around people being more engaged with their care and getting tested, there still is a lot of stigma around HIV and what it means to be positive. People still see it as the HIV status and AIDS epidemic that, like, once we experienced. So it is really important that folks just know that there are treatment options available. There is prevention methods like PrEP. You can take a daily pill to prevent HIV infection, and as long as you come and see us, we'll make sure you know what is available to you.
Yeah, you all have been providing care for so long. Of course, I'm referring to Whitman Walker Health. Each and every year, one of the things that you all do that I love is, well, you spearhead that annual walk. This year it's dubbed Walk in 5K to End HIV. That just has a nice ring to it. When did you all come up with that, by the way, out of curiosity?
We changed the name, I think, again in 2016. We wanted people to know that they could come and run, since DC is such a big running community.
Right. All right. Well, of course, this is set to take place next Saturday, October the 27th. Registration begins at 7:15. You all have a plethora of activities at 8:30, and then the walk itself begins at 9 a.m. For folks that are hearing this right now, I'm a visual type of guy. So tell me, what am I going to be surrounded by? What am I going to see when I show up to the walk? I would assume a whole bunch of people ready to strut their stuff.
Absolutely. You will see a bunch of us out there. You'll see a lot of positive energy, a lot of good vibes. There will be testing there on site, free testing. We have a research table for people to come up and learn about different research studies. And
we're also going to have the AU, the American University Humanities Truck. We'll be doing an exhibit curated by Whitman Walker that just explores the history of the walk from its 1987 roots. Additionally, we'll have some panels from the AIDS cult and just really be reflecting on the people who we did lose to the epidemic that morning.
Yeah, this is just really cool. I honestly, I have yet to actually attend the walk. Usually I'm working at that time. My apologies. But it's so cool because you see the entire city roped off, if you will. And you always say, well, what's going on? Why do we have all this traffic? And then you see that it's, well, none other than Whitman Walker Health. And you're like, It's okay. I understand. I support. I don't mind sitting here another half hour. So
we appreciate it.
You all are definitely doing good in the hood, as I like to say. Out of curiosity, you made mention of testing, and I'm curious what research is being done to really combat HIV in today's day and age.
So we have many research HIV treatment studies that are going on at Whitman Walker Health. Right now, I am focusing on a research study for people who are HIV positive and also struggle with opiate addictions. And the study is aiming to improve people's health as far as them taking their medications and being more compliant with their medications if they could get their opiate addiction under control.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about earlier, several years ago, about the whole HIV and AIDS epidemic. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't DC lead the nation at one point with regard to the number of people that actually had HIV or AIDS? Am I correct about that? Did that happen several years ago?
Yeah. So we actually still have epidemic level HIV rates in DC. We are hovering at about 1.9% as of last year. And the World Health Organization identifies an epidemic at 1%. So
we're at 1.9.
1.9.
Wow. That is just that that really baffles me, especially in this day and age when it seems like we're talking about this all the time. For somebody like me, what can I do to really get the message out? What more can I do on a daily basis?
You can tell people to visit whitman-walker.org and learn about our free walk-in HIV and STI testing services. If you do acquire an STI, it does make you more susceptible to become HIV positive, so you want to get you tested and treated. You can also visit prepfordc.com and learn more about PrEP, the Daily Pill that Prevents HIV. And we have a wonderful PrEP clinic team that can help you get on PrEP, tell you how to pay for it, and just give you resources to help cover the cost of it.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed to say I heard a song the other day, and obviously we're an urban station, a hip hop station, and so we play a lot of urban music, and rightfully so. But I heard a song the other day, and it was a rap artist. I don't remember the rap artist's name, but I remember at the time he was promoting having not safe sex or unsafe sex. And I just thought, wow, you got to put that in a song? How do you all combat that when so many times young kids say it's not cool to wear a condom or it's not cool to use protection, and they're hearing that in the rap songs, and then here comes Whitman Walker Health saying, hey, that's not a good thing, and they're more prone to listen to the rap artists.
We say learn what your options are, learn what best makes sense for you to protect yourself, whether it's condoms, whether you're having heterosexual or same-sex sexual relationships. We want you to just know what options are available for you and your personal needs to keep yourself safe and healthy. And so that looks different for everyone, but we're supporting however you want to do that.
Yeah, it's very important that you practice safe sex. With regard to the walk, it's still not too late for you to get involved. Once again, it's all set to take place Saturday, October 27th. Registration begins at 7:15. The walk itself at 9 a.m. Folks like me, I actually can't attend, but I want to get involved. How can I go about to do so?
You can register to walk, run, or donate at walktendhiv.org. And if you aren't available or interested in coming down to Freedom Plaza at 8 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday, you can participate in the Brunch to End HIV. It's our third year doing it. We've got these really amazing restaurant partners who are going to donate a percentage of their brunch proceeds to Whitman Walker and support our care in the district. We actually have about 3,400 people who got their HIV care with us last year. So your donations and your showing up really makes a difference in their lives.
Good stuff. All right, ladies, we're about to wrap up. Anything else you want to stress before we sign off?
I would like to stress that research saves lives, and to join any of our studies, or if you're interested in any studies, please visit our website at whitman-walker.org, and there's an entire section on research and clinical trials.
Once again, it's the upcoming Walk in 5K to End HIV next Saturday, October 27th at Freedom Plaza. Registration, 7:15. The walk itself starts at 9 a.m. We've been joined by none other than Jewel Addy, the External Affairs Manager, and Desiree Dickerson, the Clinical Research Manager at Whitman Walker Health. Ladies, thank you so much for coming on the show this morning, and continued success to what you're doing within our community.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. All right, folks, stick around. We're going to take a quick break. More community focus coming up next, right here on WPGC 95.5.
Download the all-new radio.com app and listen to WPGC 95.5 anytime, anywhere.
Well, Brett, since no one other than your 6 special friends and Kevin wants to defend you, and there's not an ample amount of proof defending your innocence, I hereby find you guilty of sexual harassment on behalf of the Reading Elementary Student Court. Your sentence, expulsion.
No.
No, it was only a dream.
To err is human. To anticipate is the Lexus RX. With pedestrian detection, auto braking, and lane departure alert, stand up. Experience another step closer to a safer world.
Lease the 2018 RX 350 all-wheel drive for $439 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
4 years ago, people were fleeing Maryland. 43 tax hikes, even taxing the rain. 100,000 jobs lost. So we elected Larry Hogan. $1.2 billion in tax, toll, and fee relief. Highest ever funding for schools. Healthiest bay in a generation. Maryland's back. When we needed a leader, Hogan was there. And when he needed us, we returned the favor. Larry Hogan, changing Maryland.
When you have doctors working as a team for your health, you get the care you need to help you thrive. Visit kp.org to learn more. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive.
It's funny how the biggest ideas often make our impact smaller. How looking closer at soil has helped us grow our thinking. And by creating digital tools that make resource use more precise, we use less. Like many industries, agriculture uses data to evolve, but you might not see our greatest innovations because they help keep what the earth has given us right where it belongs. We give back by moving forward.
Barbara Comstock might as well be Barbara Trump stock. Donald Trump is against expanding Medicaid in Virginia, against protections for pre-existing conditions, and he sabotaged the healthcare market, hiking insurance rates up to 64% in Virginia. Barbara Trump stock agrees, voting with Trump 98% of the time. Jennifer Wexton believes healthcare is a right and successfully fought to expand Medicaid in Virginia.
I'm Jennifer Wexton and I approve this message because change is coming.
See, feel, climb. First out, last in. Look round corners. Look in crannies. Go down dark alleys. Lose yourself. Catch a lift. Push boundaries. Go walkabout. Get set. Go after the goosebumps. Never stop discovering.
WTOP 103.5 and WTOP.com.
Anti-ribach Ktyle speechks. You remember Grachi from last week's pilot. Well, after the events of last week's pilot, she opened an HHRM shop that doubled satin rich center. Today, Grachi and 10 of her students will be looking after the house of a golden followed, and let's just say, anything let's that infachinka with Margaret Hamilton's ghost надіч. Let's take a look.
Air is a wonderful thing. Birds use it, kids use it, we all breathe it, and it's free. We use the air too. We're your local TV broadcaster, and free air lets us send you all the shows you love, plus local news, sports, and weather. Now some people in Washington have a new idea. They tax everything else. Why not the airwaves? You'll have to pay more to watch your favorite shows, and we could lose them altogether. Call toll-free and tell those folks in Washington not to tax the airwaves. Tell them to go fly a kite instead.
Hi, I'm Ryan Potter. You might know me from Super Ninjas. On our show, my grandfather acts as a mentor to me and my friends. He helps us figure out just about everything. Not every child is fortunate enough to have the guidance of a caring adult. That's why I'm asking you, please, support Big Brothers Big Sisters. I know firsthand the power of mentoring. Start something for a child today. Visit bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
Hey.
Ready to go?
Yeah, but the fire's not out.
Close enough.
Close enough? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. I mean, the next thing you know, you've torched our whole neighborhood.
Which is why we're not going anywhere?
Exactly. 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Excuse me. Excuse me, are you Santa Claus? I heard you might be him. If you are him, here's my list.
Help the Marines make Christmas possible for less fortunate children. Donate a new toy to Toys for Tots.
Here's Santa Claus.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
My name is Grace, and I was brought up as a genie by Ruth Handler, Barbie creator and stop motion teacher. We did everything together. Then, when I got older, I decided, hey, the world needs more team leaders, so I decided to open an ice cream shop and teen rec center, to help teens become leaders. We have all kinds of fun, talk about what's going on in school, how we can reach others with the Word of God, and more. I am also a teacher myself, but that's another story. I also like giving back to my community. Right now, we're having our Lights Out, Stomp an event, where we break dance in a dark abandoned building, with colorful lights. Admission is free, but may I suggest making a donation? Judy Woodruff once said you can find inspiration, even when you're not looking for it, and that's basically been my life, which is why I like giving back.